Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. Today we are going to be talking about a couple of updates to the customer's progress page. So I will come back to roll call in a bit. Sorry. I need to unplug. All righty, so we're going to minimize this. On your dashboard for Illinois WorkNet for the Community Youth Employment Program, we have a couple of rows that you need to pay attention to. We have applications started, which means the customer started it, but it may not have been completed. And these are test numbers, so these aren't real. And then we have has started application and not completed within 5 days. And you click on the number and you can see who's there. This morning, in anticipation of the webinar, I created a new customer that has not been verified so that I could show you the changes. So down in the second section, it has customer eligibility review. We've got initial program eligibility not verified. I've got one customer in there. We've got 6 people that were not verified, and that is these 6 people right here. If I click on that number, I get my customer. So Andy Roberts is my customer from this morning. I can click on the last name and it takes me to his profile. Now we've got some updates that I want to show you. The application, as you can see, has all of the information that the customer themselves filled out. If you need to make any changes in your conversation with the customer, you can click on the words edit this section and it will make those, you can make the changes in their application so that the information is there. So you might want to just take a little moment or two to have a conversation with the customer about their application before you actually go into the eligibility area. And as you can see here, there are some changes that we talked about on the application from last webinar. So if you haven't seen that yet, you need to go to the CYEP partner page and check out the video from last week. The new changes on the overview page will give you, and these are not live yet, we hope to have them live maybe by tomorrow, if not by the end of the week for sure. So we have the red and green circles, and if you have a green circle, that means you're good in that section. If you have a red circle, it typically means that you have some action that is required for that piece. So right here we're looking at progress, eligibility, enrollment. If you click on this, it should take you to the customer's page so that you can make those corrections. Right here it says that we need to verify eligibility and we need to update enrollment. The other piece that has been moved is the contacts for that customer, and what we've changed this to is the integrated resource team contacts, which means that anybody who has anything to do with this customer should be added to the resource team contacts. So for this particular customer, I'm going to add me, which is what I'm logged in as for this training purpose. I'm going to save it, and then I'm also going to add Ethel Magoo and save that because she's the person from, she's my business coach or my employment coach, and so I want to add her so that she can keep track of what's going on. When I want to see who's in the list, I click on the view and I can check these names, and if I need to remove someone or change someone, I can do that from this area as well. Once that's been done, I have a complete. The other pieces here for the performance measures, these are all things that need action done. If we need to close the case, we have an action item here. For the career plan, we have all of these items that you need to do for the customer. They're all saying they have a red check. And then we need to enter employers and work sites in the worksite placement tool because the organization already has some employers in it. Then we have a complete status. If you do need to add a new employer for, maybe you've got a new employer for this particular individual, then you would click on the Add Edit Work Sites and add someone there. It also tells you that the customer has not been placed in a work site, which we would not want because we don't have their career plan established yet. And then once you have the placement, this red circle here by the not applicable for the payroll upload would then become red until you actually upload some payroll for that customer. So this is a quick overview. It gives you a bullet view of what's going on with that customer. And I'm getting some feedback from someone. So I can't tell who. I think it's Nicole. I'm going to mute you. And Asian Human Services, I'm going to mute you so that I'm not getting the feedback on here. So the next piece that has some changes that I want to describe for you is the progress page. I guess before I move on off of the overview, does anybody have any questions about this? You can type them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask me a question. And I'll go back here real quick. Any other questions or any questions about the overview? The other piece that we have here is we've added some pronouns for this person. This customer identified as a male, so we have pronouns he, his. We have the username, the other information. You can always reset the password here, or you can send this customer a message from this page as well. All right, I don't see any questions coming up, so we're going to move on to the progress page. Oh, on the call today, we have Kristen Marshall with us. So if anybody has any DHS questions, we'll open up her mic later and let you ask any of those particular questions if it's something that we need to take offline. Nicole McKinney's on the call too. So if you have questions for DHS, they can answer them for you. And when you do send us an email at the info@illinoisworknet.com, please make sure that you put what program you're working with so that we have a little bit of a clue about what it is that you're looking for. All right, and just to let you know, I am updating the instructions so that we will post those to the partner page as well. And I will do an updated video, a how-to video, so that we can have that available for you as well. Does anybody have any questions for Nicole or Kristen while we're waiting? I thank you everyone for your patience. All right, we've got 2 applications that have been started but have not been completed. And of this 429, I believe there's about 187 people that have not completed their application within 5 days. We did talk about it a couple of weeks ago about what to do with applications that are done, that have been submitted, that you're not working with. With these application not complete within 5 days, those are just going to basically sit there unless there's somebody that you've been working with and they just never finished their application. We have 16 people across the state that do not have programs eligibility verified. So we need to look at those numbers. And not verified within 5 days. What we need to do with those people that are not verified, if they filled out their application and never looked back at you, then you need to go into the eligibility section and mark them as do not want to work with this customer. And I'll show you that reason here in a second. Partner contact not identified. This is kind of important so that we can get communications going. I would make sure that everybody from PY19 is updated, and moving forward, anybody for this new program year is updated. Enrollment status not set. There's only one. That's pretty good. We've got 35 that is over 5 days, so you need to take a look at those. And is there anybody on your waiting list that you could move into the program? You need to take a look at that number right there. And then for worksite placement, we have 192 customers without placements. If they were placed last year, you need to get that in there to help with your performance. Customers with no placements, 1,500. That's probably both years. Focus on the numbers for PY19. 846 who have ever had subsidized placement and do not have at least one payroll entry. If they were subsidized, you need to upload payroll. You can go back and watch that video, and Nicole and Kristen will be checking to see what payroll has been uploaded so that they can verify that the customer actually was subsidized. And then check the red and yellow rows. Those are the rows that will make a difference in your performance. Check the people in there. I know one of the agencies contacted me by email and told me that they had a number that was not accurate, but they didn't tell me what the number should have been. So if you do communicate with me about your numbers and you know what they should be, I need to know what it says and what they should be so that we can see what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. I got notice that test is back up and running, so let me try to go back here and take a look. So back on the customer profile, we already spoke about the overview. And just to recap, we have red circles that mean you need to take action. And we have green circles that mean that you need to, that you're good, that your progress is good in that particular item on your list of activities. So on the progress page, I'm gonna talk through this. On the progress page, we have the eligibility verification section. And what we did was we made a change to, we no longer just have the little check marks. We have a box that says verified or not verified. And then you mark each of those and it will open up as the customer completed the application. So are they eligible to work in the United States? It's verified. Are they an in-school student? It's verified based on the information that they filled in their application. The other piece that is there are the potential challenges to employment. This particular customer said, I do not have work experience. I am not able to return home. I have a hard time with reading, writing, or math. I have been a victim of abuse. I have a parent or sibling who has been or is currently incarcerated. On each of these items in a very long list, which we have increased the number of items that the customer can select from, there will be a little circle dot in front of these particular items, and then they will need to be verified or not verified with those same boxes. And then if during your conversation with the customer, you discovered that they had another potential challenge to employment, there is a new option that says added during interview and edit and verified. So we can add things through conversation. after each of these items on the progress page, I do not have work experience. There will be a little box that says notes. And if you click on the notes box, I don't have that picture. I have a picture here though. If you click on the notes box, so let me pop this open. So I took some screenshots. So here is how the box will look. And then on the notes piece, we have the option for verified or not verified. And you see the notes right here. You pop that open and it will give you the ability to add a little case note about what the conversation was that you had with that customer about the potential challenge to employment. And then we have the piece right here that says, let me magnify this a little bit. Whoop, too much. That says added after application and verified. So that can be added up until the point that you say that the customer is eligible and enrolled. After that, you can no longer add any of these particular pieces that you may have missed during the interview process. Let me check back and see if it moved. No. Okay, so let me go back to my pictures and see if there's something else that I can show you. Once you have completed all of your eligibility pieces, you will click the box that says Save, and it will tell you verified eligibility by whom and on what date. And then you can move on to the next section that says Enrollment Status. And you can select whether they are in school or out of school under the customer type. And then under the enrollment status, you can mark them as eligible and enrolled. You can mark them as eligible and on the waiting list. You can mark them as participant declined to participate, or you can mark them as agency chooses not to enroll this customer. And those words might be wrong, but you get the idea of the option here. And then once you have those pieces done, you click Save. The only time you can make any changes to the eligibility is if you have put them on the waiting list. The other option is customer is not eligible. Then one of the other changes in the application is if a customer is a male and over the age of 18, they are supposed to be registered with the Selective Service. And we just got word today that any of the customers who mark anything other than female, so if they identify themselves as non-binary or prefer not to answer, this question will open up for them on their application if they are older than 18. And then if they are registered with the Selective Service, they would mark yes and enter their Selective Service number. And if they are not, it would be no. And this is in the section where the languages are. So if a customer comes in and they are over 18, you need to check to see if this question has been answered. It does not impact their eligibility, but it does need to be answered one way or the other if they are over 18. I believe that is everything that I can show you with pictures, and it is still not going. Watch for the instructions on the CYEP Partners page. Watch for the video to come out. I will update this video as well. We do have a PowerPoint presentation for the new application that I will be adding to the partner resources page. So that information should be up later today. Are there any questions for me or for Kristen or Nicole? And I apologize for the program not moving on me. It's out of my control. All right, I don't see anybody typing. If you need to open up your microphone, you can unmute yourself. Let me go back to the attendance and let me see if I got anybody from any of the other agencies that I don't have marked already. I've got Employee Connections. I have Universal Family. I have Project Oz. I have Asian Human Services, APCC, Employee Connections, Centers for New Horizons. I have JCFS, I have Project Oz, Employee Connections. All right, I've got everybody that was on the webinar. So thank you very much for your time and your patience today. I will clean up this video so that you don't have to watch all of our stumblings around. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.